The Last Salute. Princess Leonor's final day at military academy. For months, Spain has watched with pride as Princess Leonor marched, trained, and saluted shoulder to shoulder with fellow cadets. The military academy became her proving ground, the place where the heir to the Spanish throne was transformed into a disciplined leader. Everyone expected her final day to be a simple ceremony, a graceful farewell. But what unfolded was far more than that. The last salute was not just a goodbye to her cadet life, it was a powerful moment of history, emotion, and destiny. And hidden beneath the applause, the pride, and even the tears, was a deeper story about what this means for Leonor, for her family, and for Spain itself. On this day, the academy grounds were alive with tradition. Flags fluttered against the sky, uniforms glistened under the sun, and cadets stood in formation, their boots planted firmly on the earth that had tested and shaped them. At the center stood Leonor. But she was not just another cadet. She was the future Queen of Spain, standing at the crossroads of youth and duty. Her uniform, once stiff and unfamiliar, now seemed part of her. And as she raised her hand in that final salute, it carried the weight of a nation's expectations. What made this farewell so emotional? It wasn't simply the end of her training. It was the symbolism of transformation. This was the last time the world would see Leonor in the role of a cadet, one among many. From now on, every step she takes will be marked by her destiny as heir to the throne. The academy had been her shelter, a place where discipline and equality made her just another student. Leaving it meant stepping fully into the spotlight, into a role where her every action will be scrutinized, her every word recorded, her every gesture analyzed. The ceremony itself was breathtaking. The sound of drums echoed across the courtyard, solemn and rhythmic. Cadets stood tall, their eyes locked forward, as if to honor not just their own journeys, but the extraordinary one taken by the young woman among them. When Leonor approached to deliver her final salute, silence fell. It wasn't the silence of routine, it was charged, reverent, as if everyone present understood they were witnessing a historic moment. She raised her hand with precision, her gaze steady, her posture flawless. And yet, behind the formality, there was emotion. A flicker in her eyes, a tightening of her lips, revealed that this was not just duty, it was deeply personal. Her parents were there, watching. King Felipe, himself a graduate of the military academies, knew exactly what that moment meant. He had stood in the same shoes decades earlier, giving his own final salute as a prince preparing for kingship. But seeing his daughter, his heir, repeat that ritual carried an entirely different weight. For Felipe, it was pride mixed with something deeper, a recognition that Leonor is no longer the child he once carried in his arms, but a woman preparing to inherit his crown. Queen Letitia's emotions were even more visible. Throughout Leonor's training, Letizia had been both supportive and protective. She had worried about the physical demands, the isolation, the intensity of military life. And yet, she had also known how necessary it was. On this final day, her eyes glistened as she watched her daughter complete a chapter of life that had demanded resilience, sacrifice, and courage. To Letizia, the salute wasn't just a military gesture, it was a declaration that Leonor was ready for the next step. The crowd, too, felt the gravity. Families of cadets, academy staff, political figures, and journalists all witnessed something extraordinary. For many Spaniards, Leonor has always been a distant figure, the girl in elegant dresses. At ceremonies, the princess on magazine covers. But here, in uniform, sweating, training, and saluting, she had become real, tangible, relatable. And her last salute reminded them that she is not just an heir by birth, but by earned strength. Yet, as moving as the moment was, it also stirred controversy. Some voices in Spain questioned the monarchy's emphasis on military tradition. Was it truly necessary for Leonor to endure such training in an era where monarchies are increasingly symbolic? Others argued that this was essential, that if she is to command respect as queen, she must understand discipline, duty, and sacrifice at their deepest levels. The last salute thus became more than a personal milestone. It became a lightning rod for debate about the monarchy's future role in Spain. Internationally, the images spread quickly. Media across Europe praised Leonor's dedication, drawing comparisons to other young royals. Some saw echoes of her father, King Felipe, whose military discipline has long shaped his steady reign. Others saw a new chapter. Leonor is the face of a modern monarchy, blending tradition with relatability. In Denmark, the connection to Prince Christian added another layer of fascination, as royal watchers speculated on how Europe's young heirs might redefine monarchy in the 21st century. But what did Leonor herself feel in that moment? Behind the calm precision of her salute, she must have carried memories, the grueling early mornings, the drills, the camaraderie of fellow cadets, the quiet nights of exhaustion and reflection. She must have thought of her younger sister, Infanta Sofia, watching her from afar, and the bond that has always defined them. And she must have thought of the crown that awaits her, the enormous responsibility she cannot escape. The last salute was, in many ways, her private farewell to the girl she had been, and her embrace of the queen she must become. After the salute, the academy echoed with applause. It was thunderous, yet tinged with sadness. Cadets embraced her, some smiling, others holding back tears. In those embraces was recognition that she had not been treated as a princess among them, but as one of their own. She had shared their burdens, earned their respect, and in leaving, she carried with her not just the honor of the academy, but its spirit. And yet, the ceremony raised new questions. What comes next for Leonor? Will she step directly into more royal duties, traveling across Spain and abroad to prepare for her role? Or will she continue balancing her royal life with personal growth, education, and the chance to experience life beyond protocol? More importantly, how will Spain react to seeing her transition from cadet to crown? Will they embrace her as the leader they've watched grow before their eyes? Or will skepticism about the monarchy continue to shadow her steps? This is the curiosity the last salute has sparked. It was not an ending, it was a beginning. A beginning that forces us to ask, what kind of queen will Leonor be? Will she be the disciplined leader forged in the academy, commanding respect with precision? Or will she be the compassionate woman who understands the struggles of ordinary citizens, having shared hardship alongside her peers? Perhaps she will be both, and that is what makes her journey so captivating. As the ceremony ended, Leonor walked slowly across the academy grounds one final time. The sun dipped lower, casting long shadows on the stones worn by centuries of cadets before her. With each step, she left behind not just the academy, but a part of her youth. Ahead of her lies a destiny few can imagine, the weight of a crown, the challenge of leading a nation, the hope of bridging tradition with modernity. And so, the last salute was more than a gesture. It was a farewell, a promise, and a beginning all at once. For Spain, it was a reminder that its monarchy is not frozen in the past, it is evolving, preparing, shaping itself through the trials of a young woman who has already proven her courage. For Leonor, it was the moment her childhood gave way to history. And for the world, it was a glimpse of the queen she is becoming, steady, strong, and unafraid to carry the weight of her people's future.